Greetings, everybody. This is a video response to rdowdy95's 600 subscriber video in which he is asking viewers who want to respond to name their scariest comic book or story, or the weirdest comic book, or the comic book that freaked them out the most or scared them the most. Well, I'm a big horror fan, and there are a lot of comic books, horror comic books that I've read and that I have in my collection. But so I couldn't just pick, one as my all-time, scariest comic, or comic that contains the most scariest stories ever. But I can tell you this, that the stories that freak me out the most or scare me the most are the ones about cannibalism, where people eat people. So I immediately thought of this comic right here. This is The Thing number 11 from 1952, and this has a story in here that is a classic twist on the Brothers Grimm, Hansel and Gretel, the old German fairy tale about Hansel and Gretel and how they travel into the woods and meet the witch that tries to cook them in the oven. Well, this is a whole different version on that, in which Hansel and Gretel are actually Carol and Jack in the form of adults, and they are artists, starving artists actually, and they're traveling in some rural area and come across this house. There's a storm brewing, and so they're invited in to stay for the night, and you have this old woman that's turns out to be a ghoul, and she takes Jack's wife, Carol, and brings her down into a secret dungeon, and she's screaming, and where is that scene there? Right here. This panel right here is where she's about to be cut open by the old ghoul so she can have her dinner. And well, eventually, as you can guess, she thought somebody was hiding in the oven. Right here in this panel, she's checking the oven to make sure that, what's his name, Jack isn't hiding in there. And, of course, Jack is right behind her and shoves her into the oven. And it turns out that the actual ghouls are Hansel and Gretel. And, well, the old witch was a ghoul too, but Hansel and Gretel were modern ghouls. And talk about a classic take on the old, talk about a different take on the classic old Hansel and Gretel story. You see him down here, and his face is blue, and you can see a little bit of blood, on their lips there. That this is before the code, of course. And so stories like that always kind of weird me out, because the people like that actually do exist, and that's what makes the stories even more freaky to me. But this was such a classic take on that story, So you have that, and there's a lot more, but that is the one that came to my mind immediately, because I love the classic fairy tales and the different versions of them in a horror type of fashion. And that is it. Let me show you the cover again without the Mylar bag. It's a great cover, and look at that. It's got all sorts of stuff happening on there. You couldn't produce a cover like that for the longest time once the comic code came into effect. But hardly ever do you see a cover today anymore that actually represents something that's actually taking place inside the book. But when you open the page, when you open the cover and you turn to the first page, you can see the same thing happening, what was happening on the cover, but it's a little bit different. It may look like it's the same cover, but it's not the same. I don't know why they changed it, but look at the old ghoul back there on the first page. Look at her face, and now take a look at her face on the cover. It's different, and it's a headlight cover as well. Headlights were, you know, well, very prominent display of a woman's breasts. That's what they called headlight covers. But it was strange that they would change the look of the old ghoul's face. I have no idea why they did that. Take a look at that again on the cover. That's just interesting. And there she is on the inside. Looks completely different. Everything else looks the same except her face. And I have no idea why that was changed. That's something I should investigate. But at any rate, I want to thank rdowdy95 for doing this contest, and I really appreciate that. And good luck to all the other entrants, people that enter, and I should be uploading the video pretty soon myself again. My contest is going on as well, but it'll be another week or so, so check that one out too. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Take care.